Okay, this will be a very short video because it's pretty self-explanatory. Pitt shows just how far from perfect Miami is as ACC title game looms. I think this game right here is going to determine the public psychology in next week's game against Clemson because Miami looked awful in this game. They are playing at a neutral site next week, so depending on what the line is, my guess is they're going to make Clemson the favorite because they are the better team overall, and we'll see what happens, what the line does. If the line ends up going toward Clemson, the reason why it's doing that is because of this game, and they could have be setting it up for something else. Maybe Miami pulls out that win next week. Depending on what the line does, we'll have to wait and see. It's still really early to predict what's going to happen, but that could be something to note. So if you look at this game here against Pittsburgh, Miami, like I said, looked really bad. Okay, and not that this is a factor or anything, but it just gives more reasons for you to believe why Miami could have lost this game. Okay, obviously they played the last 3 games in warmer temperature. Now they go to Pittsburgh and play in a 40-degree temps, which I don't think is a factor at all. It could be because they're playing Clemson, the championship game. Obviously, there would be a letdown here. But, I think it's just more of a psychology thing. They needed Miami to lose this game because of what's going to take place in next week's game. So, like I said, we'll have to wait and see what they put the line at. But you can see here with this line drop, 13.5 to 12. Okay, there was a lot of people betting on Miami, but they were moving this line down to Pittsburgh because, there was more than enough money on them that a lot of the sharper bettors were betting on Pittsburgh, okay, and taking the underdog here. So they ended up winning this game outright. And like I said, Miami seems to play down to their opponents as well because they barely beat Virginia the previous week. I mean, they won by 16 or so points, but they were favored by 20 or more in that game. So they seem to play down to their opponents. And then, obviously, I think Pittsburgh's a lot better of a team than Virginia is. So all these things could be non-factors. The main reason is, I think, it's for a purpose of next week's game, the championship game against Clemson. But it's definitely something to note for that reason because Miami was playing a better opponent in Pittsburgh than Virginia, and they did not play well against Virginia. But they do play, like I said, down to their competition, and then they get up for these big games. Okay, so we'll have to see what happens next week. But I'll be back with another video, and comment, rate, and subscribe. Keep sharing my videos, and I'll see you then.